There is a very historic kind of art in Japan, and it's called Kintsugi. What it is basically repairing broken vases, repairing broken bowls, and so on with gold. Let's talk about that. So, Kintsugi is basically a very interesting form of repairing historical, let's say, pottery, just to make, enhance the value of the pottery, showing that it has a huge historic significance. But there are some very, very intricate lessons we can learn from this simple form of art. Basically, what happens in Kintsugi is a broken piece of vase or pottery, or let's in this case take a bowl, is repaired. All the different pieces of the bowl are stuck to each other with gold, and that makes it so special. I was reminded about Kintsugi when I watched the video. Well, this is basically a huge train of thought. First, I watched the video about from the Millers about hooking people up, and since I had an opinion about that, I wanted to make a reply video. But then I saw Geronimo's response, and he gave his opinions about that, and that reminded me of Kintsugi, especially when Geron spoke about the trust factor. If something goes wrong, I think this goes to show how my brain works. It just connects weird dots to each other. But usually people compare Kintsugi to our hearts. It has a very poetic take where it doesn't matter if your heart is broken. You can always repair it and it looks much better. What matters most is your intention and the quality and effort you want to put into repairing your heart. But there are a few more lessons we can learn from it. Is that you shouldn't be afraid to fix things. You shouldn't be afraid to use some glue. You shouldn't be afraid to put the time and effort into something that you would want to forget. It is okay to remember. What Kintsugi teaches us is about the missing pieces within ourselves. It is okay to acknowledge that someone is missing from us, or something is missing from us that makes us whole. And we can fix that with some glue, with some golden glue. It is okay to cover up that missing trench and walk over it. One of the most important lessons from Kintsugi is consistency, being constant. It teaches us to be patient. It teaches us to work hard and put effort day in, day to day, every day. It teaches us to put in all the work, so that eventually we become stronger. Eventually our character builds and we take up a better form. But one of the primary lessons from Kintsugi is that the main important thing is to remember. Remember the past. Remember what brought you to this state. To remember how you were before you became, or before you transformed into this broken stage. It is important to remember what you look like and what you want to look like. It is important to remember how you felt before you were broken and how you want to feel after you fix it. But there is a hidden lesson that not everybody wants to talk about when it comes to Kintsugi and relating it to our hearts or our soul or ourselves. It is a message that every time I come across Kintsugi, I hear it buzzing in my head. No matter how much gold you put in, no matter how much work you put in, the pottery is not going to be the same. Just like that, No matter what you do, once you're broken, and no matter how hard you try to fix, with gold or no gold, it's not going to be the same.